Buenos dias, Zamboanga Peninsula. Welcome sa Kapihan sa Bagong, Pilipinas, hatid ng Presidential Communications Office and Philippine Information Agency. Ang programang ito ay isang plataforma para sa ating mga national government agencies upang ihayag ang kanilang mga programa at serbisyo sa taong bayan. We are live via PIA Western Mindanao Facebook page and other government agencies' Facebook pages. Also, we are hooked up via Radio Pilipinas. Let's welcome po all our viewers po who are watching us live. And we encourage po everyone to please comment, like, and share po yung ating Facebook Live. And you can comment po yung inyong mga katanungan later on and we will try to read po at sagutin po mamaya po ng ating panauhin. And of course, we would like to welcome all our media partners online. We have from Isabela City, Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga del Norte, and Zamboanga del Sur. And of course, Zamboanga City who are with us today po sa ating venue. I-welcome na po natin ang ating panauhin para sa ating ika-15th episode po ng Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. We have the Department of Migrant Workers in Region 9. Let's welcome po our resource person. We have the OIC Regional Director and Labor Attaché po. We have Director Adam Musa.
Thank you, Myra. Assalamualaikum. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Buenos dias. It's an opportunity for us to be able to present our programs and services and experiences that we had for the last 2 to 3 years. And I hope that we'll be able to elaborate all the services that we can serve our overseas Filipino workers in this part of the country. We have 13 regions and we are located in these 13 regions, and we have 29 offices overseas serving across the globe our overseas Filipino workers. Magandang umaga po.
All right, so it's good to hear po your message to all our viewers po and all our participants po. Now, let's hear po your accomplishment report or other reports po from your programs po of the Department of Migrant Workers.
Thank you. Allow us to present our noble accomplishment for the year, middle of the year. The President honors the contribution of the overseas Filipino workers to nation building. Last year, the total remittance of our overseas Filipino workers was at all-time high at $37.2 billion, up by 3% from the $36.1 billion in 2022. He is aware of the sacrifices of the overseas Filipino workers and has directed all government agencies to work together and devote resources and programs for the welfare of the overseas Filipino workers. The government seeks to transform the journey and the narrative of the overseas Filipino workers and their families. The DMW will empower our overseas Filipino workers and their families so that they can fulfill their potentials and as partners in national development. How do we do that? We do that by making sure that they are supported in all stages of their journey from pre-employment, return, and reintegration, by mobilizing the whole of government to protect them against scams and help them grow their resources and talents, by bringing the fight against illegal recruiters, traffickers, and scammers at the grassroots level. As you all know, the third pillar of Philippine foreign policy is the protection of the rights and the promotion of the welfare of and interests of the overseas Filipino workers. And consistent with this policy, the safety of Filipinos, no matter where they are, is a national priority. In the past year, we have seen intensified global conflicts posing danger to Filipino workers. And to ensure their safety, we pursued agreements with other countries and institutionalized mechanisms to immediately respond to their needs. And given the growing demand of the Filipino workers abroad, there is a need for an orderly deployment which outlines the rights and responsibilities of the host governments. This will guarantee the process of recruitment is implemented in a fair and ethical manner, and that our Filipino workers are treated fairly. We have assisted Filipinos in distress, but despite our endeavors to provide OFWs with the assistance they need, many of them still experience difficulties due to conflict, abuse, exploitation, man-made and natural calamities or crises. Thus, our office will continue to reinforce stronger protection and growth and development for our overseas Filipino workers and their families in times of needs and emergencies. From July 2022 up to June 2024, we received nationwide about 32,000 requests for assistance. Of these, 76% have been resolved. A monthly average of 894 overseas Filipino workers, or a total of 20,000 plus workers, have been safely repatriated and reunited with their families in the Philippines. And about 3,000 requests for better working terms were also addressed. With the ongoing global conflict or conflicts and unforeseen calamities, the department made sure that we will always be there during their needs. As of 31 this year, we have successfully repatriated around 928 overseas Filipino workers from Israel, from Lebanon, from the West Bank and Gaza, who were affected by the ongoing conflicts between Israel and Hamas. We also facilitated the repatriation of 32 overseas Filipino workers, dependents from these areas. From July 2023 up to May this year, the Overseas Worker Welfare Administration, by which I wish to acknowledge Director Tata Sultan of OWA, who is present here today, 9,000 returning overseas Filipino workers, including repatriates from Kuwait, Israel, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Oman, Palestine, Sudan, and the United Arab Emirates, were supported with repatriation assistance services. These services includes airport assistance, medical aid, temporary shelter, and repatriation of human remains. We have heard about the 10,000 workers who were affected by bankruptcy in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, companies in Saudi Arabia. As of May 15, 2024, 1,350 checks intended for the claimants were already credited to the Land Bank of the Philippines, amounting to 1.03 billion pesos. Of this amount, 29.8 million worth of checks were endorsed to the Land Bank of the Philippines for 28 family beneficiaries of deceased claimants. That means namatay sila bago nila makuha ang kanilang claims. In the meantime, 34.7 million worth of checks were endorsed to the Land Bank of the Philippines to 30 family beneficiaries of OFW with names. Medyo may discrepancy. But we were able to provide it to them. The government has provided an unprecedented amount of assistance, which is different, but under this new administration, the government has provided financial assistance to the Action Fund or the Agarang Kalinga para sa mga nangailangan. Our office has assisted 215,000 plus OFWs with total funds obligated to about 1.09 billion as of July 31st this year. The Action Fund is being used to help OFWs with their legal, medical, and financial needs. Recently, we have increased the assistance from 30,000 to 50,000 to a maximum of 100,000, depending on the circumstances of the OFW. This Action Fund is also being used to provide overseas Filipino workers in conflict with the law overseas, worldwide, with the lawyers so that they can seek justice against abusive recruiters and employers. In close coordination with other agencies of government like the Department of Foreign Affairs, the Department of Migrant Workers and OWA ensure that government is there when OFWs needed help, especially during time of conflict and calamities. We have helped and rescued, brought home and provide financial support to 803 OFWs trapped in Sudan conflict. Nandoon po ako sa Port Sudan at nakarepatriate tayo that number. And from Port Sudan, we were able to repatriate about 32 overseas Filipino workers. And we continue to assist in the repatriations and reintegration of our OFWs affected by all these conflicts and calamities. So far, DFA, DMW, and OWA have repatriated 1,108 OFWs and 46 dependents in total from conflict areas like Israel, Lebanon, West Bank, and Gaza. We'll provide immediate relief to our workers affected by all these calamities, as we have provided immediate relief to those who are affected by the Taiwan earthquake and the Turkey earthquake. The Department of Migrant Workers and the Overseas Worker Administration have made it easier for our overseas Filipino workers and their families to seek help through the One Repatriation Command Center. Since it started, the ORC and the OWA satellite and regional offices nationwide have received 33,000 plus requests for assistance. Of this number, 80% have been resolved, a monthly average of 910 OFWs, or a total of 21,000, have been safely repatriated and united with their families after the request has been granted and provided assistance by the office. We will continue. The OWA and the Department of Migrant Workers will continue to strengthen our integration program. From January last year to August this year, we have assisted 1,300 overseas Filipino workers through various services, like the Balik Pinas, Balik Pinay Hanap Buhay program, and aside from this, we have supported also OFWs. Ito, siguro magugustuhan natin ito. We have supported 1,471 overseas Filipino workers who aspire to be teachers in public schools through our program sa Pilipinas, Ikaw ang Ma'am at Sir program in partnership with the Department of Education. Big sabihin yan, you have heard about the migration of teachers, for example, to various parts of the globe to teach. And we wanted to bring them back. One of them is here. She was a domestic worker in Hong Kong, working as domestic worker, but she was previously a teacher in Zamboanga del Sur. And now she is employed with the Department of Education as public school teacher. They have they are prioritized by our department through our intercession to be again in the classroom and teach with their family, friends, to enjoy their fiesta, to enjoy holidays, to enjoy New Year's and all other celebration. So they are now here. Most of them are here. Okay? Let's go to next. Sige. Okay. Maybe you are interested about our region, the Western Mindanao region and the Basulta region, which DMW covers. We have processed about over 1,000 total. Next slide. Permits to return to their employer. Kung makikita nyo, most of our workers from the region are actually working in Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Bahrain, and other countries. Yung volume in that order. Okay? Ito, 2 weeks ago, we brought the Ministry of Health of the Saudi Ministry of Health and the Saudi Embassy to Zamboanga so that our workers will no longer have to come to Zamboanga or to Manila to apply for work. We have what we call the government-to-government arrangement program. So for this year, until 2 weeks ago, we were able to deploy workers to Saudi Arabia, 342 nurses. Walang bayad to. It's a free deployment scheme. Papunta rito ang employer. We are assured of their safety and security because this is a government employer. We have our region deployed about 68 workers for Taiwan. Factory workers po sila. And another 3 healthcare workers or caregivers to Japan. A total of, from January up to, as I speak today, of 413 overseas Filipino workers. Wala pong silang binabayaran and their employers are assured because they are all government employers. Their safety, are assured because they are posted to government. companies. We have a modest accomplishment of about over 2 million pesos for our beneficiaries in our programs in the region for the Livelihood Development Assistance Program, Balik Pinas, Balik Hanap Buhay. So it's a total of, for the year, about 2 million pesos, modest 2 million pesos. Remember, we're all just about 3 years in existence, no? Our office used to be composed of about 6 offices. DOLE, POEA, OWA, OMWA of DFA, DSWD, and the National Maritime Polytechnic. We have the first ever OFW hospital in Pampanga, and we have soon to be sophisticated National Maritime Polytechnic Training Center, because we have over 500,000 seamen working across the globe. Yes? Yes. Yes. Next slide. SPIMS, we have assisted, in this region, we have assisted 23 teachers. Former domestic worker, teacher, now they become teacher again, and they have assured of an item at the Department of Education. And, yes. So that's all, and we are ready to take questions from our media personalities in Zamboanga City, and thank you for coming. And what a better way for us to start the day and the month to inform our workers, inform our residents of Zamboanga City about the programs and services of the Department of Migrant Workers and the Overseas Worker Welfare Administration. And we would like to thank PIA and Director Noemi for hosting us today. I hope we will have more of this kind, so that we'll be able to announce our programs and services, especially on our campaign against illegal recruitment and campaign against human trafficking in this part of the country. Thank you, Ma'am Myra.
Thank you very much, Director Musa. As you said po, we will now proceed with our question and answer. And I will read first po yung mga questions po from our media watching us live. So first is from Basilan. What measures are being taken to improve the accessibility and convenience of services for migrant workers in Region 9, particularly in terms of distance and transportation challenges? Are there plans to establish partnerships with local organizations or government agencies to facilitate access to service?
We've been in touch with local governments and faith-based organizations. For Basilan, OWA is already in place. They have already an office there. We are still looking into possibility because we have to fill up the positions in the office. Medyo marami pa kaming pipilapan. But nowadays, if you want to work abroad, you could just go to our website. Makikita mo doon sinong maging employer mo, anong trabaho mo, ano ang condition of work, legit ba yung agency na yan, magkanong sahod mo. But you can also come to our office or to our Facebook account, DMW 9 Zamboanga Peninsula. But for services, welfare services, across the region, for now, OWA is already existing in the different provinces of the region. Our workers can get access to the services that they provide. Of course, from time to time, we assist, we visit our regional offices. Siguro, kung services of employment ang unang tanong nila, just be sure that kung mag-apply sila, ma'am, doon sa mga licensed recruitment agency. Yung nag-house to house, huwag niyong patulan yan, nangungumisyon yan, kumukuha ng sahod yan ng 1 buwan, 2 buwan, 3 buwan. So just get access through our Facebook page account, through our website, or call us, or come directly to us. And for those who cannot, who are from far-flung areas, if they have internet, they can also access our services across the region, nationwide and worldwide. By the way, We have the number that we can give to you in case you have encountering problems all over the world. 1348. Maskin saan ka sa sulok ng mundo. Maskin diyan ka sa Pangapuyan Island o doon ka sa si Bago Island. Or anywhere basta may internet. 1348. Parang hotline yan eh. It's a call center sort of. So, huwag ko kayong magsama na ng ibang tao pa na nagbabayad pa ko ng pamasahin nila. Pwede kayo gumamit ng internet kung hindi kayo pwede pumunta sa aming opisina. Very accessible na Mayra ngayon ang services ng gobyerno.
Thank you very much po. Follow-up question po. Ano po yung mga strategies and initiatives to enhance the protection and promotion of the rights and welfare of our migrant workers? And also, how do you implement these services to address issues such as trafficking, abuse, and exploitation?
Yes, we are going barangay to barangay. OWA has been on a barangay to barangay mode already. They've been providing services. They have been ventilating issues and concern affecting our overseas Filipino workers. OWA and the DMW has been in touch with provincial, municipal, and barangay government on our campaign against illegal recruitment and trafficking in persons. We continue to have memorandum of understanding with various local government units. We are also in touch with the IACAT, or the Interagency Campaign Against Trafficking. We are also in touch with the various recruitment agencies that are located in Zamboanga City, in Pagadian, in Dipolog, in Sibugay. They are also involved in our campaign against illegal recruitment and anti-human trafficking campaign. How do we address this? Kailangan magtulong-tulong tayo. The welfare of the workers is not just the responsibility of OWA and DMW. Kung ikaw ay aalis, for example, Ma'am Mayra, yung tinuturo ng OWA sa pre-departure orientation seminar, minsan country-specific kami. Saan papunta? Saudi. O, ito. Saudi, ganito. These are the do's and don'ts. Dapat makinig tayo. Ang problema kung aalis tayo, akala natin ang puntahan natin parang palasyo. Di ba? Kung punta ka sa Dubai, akala mo palasyo ganito, yung pala, yung destination mo sa desierto. Or punta ka sa Taiwan, akala mo yung bamboo tallest building nila. Yung pala, doon ka sa farm work. O doon ka sa sulok-sulok ng Taiwan, for example. Akala mo, lahat ng damit mo, masusuot mo. Not all the time. Because if you are assigned to a country like Europe or Russia, yung nasusuot mo dito, barong Tagalog, hindi mo na masusuot doon yan. 4 seasons eh. Or, what is the best protection? Kung yun ang tanong, no? What is the best protection? Is to be alert, educated before you come. Kami sa DMW, meron kaming pre-employment. Bago ka mag-pre-departure, meron pa kaming pre-employment. Pre-employment orientation seminar. So, punta ka sa amin, Sir, pag-graduate ko, ako ngayon ay 4th year na nurse. Pag-graduate ko, gusto magtrabaho. Saan ang gusto mo? So, ito yung mapuntahan mo. After that, pupunta ka sa agency, legit na agency. Yung legit agency, hindi nagtasansak sa mga food chain or sa barangay hall or sa saan-saan. Ang legit na agency, dapat doon sa address na may opisina sila. At dapat meron kang resibo, Ma'am Mayra, kung ikaw ay nagbayad, kung ikaw ay nag-apply ng skilled workers, for example, may nagbayad ka, dapat may resibo. Sa domestic worker, dapat walang bayad yan. No? Or kung punta ka sa Qatar, for example, walang bayad, no placement fee. At may mga maraming bansa na no placement fee. So, assured ka ng ganon. So, yung pre-departure orientation seminar, we hope to have it in a country-specific na, fully. Sabihin, kung punta ka gusto magtrabaho sa Turkey, ang orientation seminar mo ay Turkey lang. Mahaba yon, medyo 8 hours supposedly. Minsan, pag domestic worker, mga 5 days pa yan yung training and skills development. For example, kung ikaw ay first time magtatrabaho as domestic worker, tandaan mo, meron kang skills training. Dapat meron kang certificate from TESDA. Para pagdating mo doon, alam mo paano mag-on ng air condition. Kasi, by the way, hindi lang ang cause ng maltreatment is because you do not know. Sometimes the cause of maltreatment is you know more than what is expected of you. Or you work harder than what is expected of you. Kaya minsan, nag-aaway yung domestic worker na Pilipina with other nationality. Because ang Pilipina, 5 o'clock gising na, nililigo na yan, well-dressed na. Yung ibang lahi, hindi ganun eh. So minsan, because of sometimes parang may favoritism from employers, nag-aaway sila among workers. Or sometimes, you work too hard, that sometimes your female employer nagsiselos sa'yo dahil mas magaling ka sa kanya o yung asawa ng amo mo, magluto, things like this. Hindi ibig sabihin, huwag mong gawin yon. But what we are saying is, abuses may not be because hindi ka marunong. Hindi ka marunong. Abuses sometimes is not the fault of the worker, of course, is the fault of the employer. Kaya meron tayong mga other facilities where they can avail of the services of our department. And by the way, yung mga abuses that involves police cases has now been transferred to the Department of Migrant Workers overseas rather than the embassy. It used to be hawak ng embassy po yan eh. Ngayon sa amin na po yan. Or yung mga namatay, yung mga mabangkay, at kami na po nag-asikaso sa mga dokumento nila. May kunting challenge lang po dito sa ating region. May mga kababayan tayo na walang PSA, walang birth certificate, walang other documents. Pag namatay po sila, mahirap po sila mag-claim ng insurance, mahirap po sila hanapin, o mahirap po sila bigyan ng tulong just in case nangailangan sila ng tulong dahil hindi natin alam kung nasaan sila. Bawat isa na umalis, dapat po yan magrehistro sila. Kung sila ay domestic worker, dapat po may Facebook account sila at matatrack natin sila saan man sila pupunta para ma-continuous ma-monitor natin sila kung saan man sila pupunta. And for those who may be encountering problems in the 29 countries that we are present, pwede po sila tumawag doon. We cannot do it by ourselves, but we are coordinating with the kung saan with the local government, local authorities, kung saan tayo pwede humingi ng tulong.
Okay. Sige po. Next question naman po, last na po from Basilan. Do you have plans po to establish a field office in Isabela City for access po to the services po provided by the department?
Yes, this is a plan of our department. It is enshrined in the law that created the department to create provincial offices and provincial units to serve better our overseas Filipino workers. OWA is doing it already, but we are just starting. We hope to have our office also. Kung mag-umpisa pa kami, siguro sa loob muna ng opisina ng OWA, and later we'll have an office adjacent to them. We do not like to separate from our sister agency like OWA because services are tuloy-tuloy yan from us to their office or from their office to our office. Kaya mahirap pag mawala kami or malayo kami sa kanila.
Okay.
In Basilan, yes.
May
Antay-antay lang kayo mga kababayan ko dyan sa Basilan. Kung hindi man, puntahan namin kayo, maskin siguro weekly, dyan sa Isabela City and other parts. Because we also cover the Basulta area.
Thank you po, sir. Next question po from Zamboanga, Sibugay naman. Paano po yung plan to assist returning OFWs po in their reintegration into the local economy, particularly po in terms of providing livelihood opportunities and financial support?
Ginagawa natin yan, no? Yung Balik Pinas, Balik Hanap Buhay, yung yung livelihood assistance, for programs for OFW, yung livelihood program for overseas Filipino reintegration, yung ating SPIMS, and OWA has more actually services to offer in terms of livelihood assistance. We are spending millions and millions of pesos already through OWA in various overseas Filipino workers organization and individuals. May access sila sa programa ng OWA actually yung kung sila ay cooperative or isang registered organization to maximum of at least 1 million pesos sa tulong puso. And kung wala pa, magtanong po kayo sa aming kasama diyan sa Sibugay. May opisina po tayo diyan sa government center sa malapit sa municipality. Sa Ipil Municipal Hall. Oo. Bumista po ako doon about 2 weeks ago. At mayroon po kaming tatlo or apat na taga-OWA doon. Two staff sa Sibugay.
Thank you po. Next question naman from Zamboanga del Sur. I think the first question po ay nasagot na natin kanina. Sa anong bansa po marami ang mga manggagawa mula sa Zamboanga Peninsula?
Saudi Arabia?
Yes, opo. Andun po yung data natin kanina sa presentation po ni Director Musa. Next question niya po ay, may mga updates po ba tungkol sa bilateral agreements sa mga bansang maraming manggagawa mula sa Zamboanga Peninsula? Paano nakakaapekto ang mga kasunduang ito sa kanilang working condition?
Yung bilateral agreement is a system where we discuss with our partners, labor receiving country, as to the term and condition of our workers. Issues of salary, issue of living condition, issue of protection from harm, from calamities and disasters, primarily issue on repatriation in case of calamities and conflicts. We continue to, on a monthly basis, we continue to discuss with our development partners and different host countries to discuss better terms for our workers. Our ultimate view is for our workers to be comfortable in the country where they are working. And it's ongoing. Just lately, we have discussion with Qatar, and we will continue to discuss. Saudi Arabia, we have already an agreement. Qatar, Germany, and some provinces in Canada, Taiwan, and others.
Thank you po. Last na po na question from Zamboanga del Sur. Bakit umaabot ng almost a month ang pag-process po ng papers, especially for OWA, as well as ang pre-departure orientation seminar for abroad? Possible ba na mas-speed up ito? Some OFWs are saying na nade-delay ang paglabas ng bansa dahil sa tagal po ng proseso.
Yung sa livelihood, depende po dun sa completion ng requirements at sa availability of funds. Hindi po ganun katagal kung complete ang requirements or kung if funds is available.
Thank you po. Next po, we have from Zamboanga del Norte naman. Ano po yung data natin sa mga trabaho na available para sa mga Filipinos abroad at ano po yung pinaka-ina-applyan ng mga taga Zamboanga Peninsula?
Dito karamihan health workers, skilled workers, domestic work, yung sa Taiwan, yung mga factory workers, yung mga trabaho sa factory, trabaho sa, kung skill specific yan, yung pinoprocess namin dyan, aside from the domestic work, yung mga nasa retail, sales, yung sa mga shops, mechanics, welder, what else? Of course, iba yung caregiver, and medical workers.
Okay, thank you po. Last na po from Zamboanga del Norte. Ano po yung pinaka-common na problema or issue na hinaharap ng mga kapwa nating Pilipino na paano po ito nahahandle ng office ninyo?
Homesickness is a number one issue. Yung you miss your country, you miss your kababayan, you miss your friends, you miss your kamarites, you miss your nangungutang sa'yo, you miss your loved ones, you miss fiesta, you miss Idil Fitri celebration, you miss birthday of your son or your daughters. Number one. Number two, yung challenges doon sa mga kapwa mong manggagawa na iba-ibang lahi. Number 3 siguro yung sometimes there are abuses. We admit that there are abuses committed by employer. And siguro hindi natin pwede kalimutan yung pag-budget ng ating pera pag nasa labas tayo. Kasi kung wala tayong control, ma'am, talagang maubos ang pera mo at mamimiss mo yun, yung pinaghirapan mo. That's why we continue to provide financial literacy program and reintegration to our workers. Kasi pag hindi talagang well-plan yung journey na medyo nakaka-stress.
Okay, thank you po. And question na lang po from a netizen po, live comment po niya. Ang ibang contact numbers po posted sa website ay hindi rin daw po makontak. And then minsan daw po hindi po ma-reach yung 1348. What can DMW do para matiyak na available ang services and responsive po ang mga opisina under you?
Mag-send po sila ng message sa aming Facebook page, DMW 9 Zamboanga Peninsula. Sasagutin po namin.
Sige po. Thank you, ma'am. I will just read po the question lang po from our media partners in Zamboanga, from Ma'am Julie Alipala. Ito po yung katanungan niya. Ano po yung total population of migrant workers in Zamboanga City? Is it true that almost 80% of the household population ay Chene 1 or 2 members working as migrant worker?
Partially, yes, it is true. In Zamboanga City, no less than about 60 to 80,000 workers registered with documented workers. And sizable number are domestic workers. But Chenelli, hi Julie, na-miss na kita, sana nagpunta ka rito. She used to be a schoolmate at WIMSU. Sizable numbers are domestic worker. Yun ang challenge sa amin. How to provide services to them and their families, and how to eradicate yung illegal recruitment, especially from the three island provinces of Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, and some remote areas in the Dipolog, Pagadian area. So that figure may be not maybe accurate, but it is within the range. It's within the range.
Thank you po. Now we will entertain questions na po from our media partners po dito sa ating venue. First, we have a question from Ma'am Letty Melitante of Zamboanga Today.
Thank you, Ms. Myra. Good morning po, sir. Sir, I understand the Department of Migrant Workers was created under Republic Act 11641 from the former President Rodrigo Duterte last December 31, 2021. And you said a while ago you are 3 years old now. And I understand there are 7, but you mentioned only 6, offices under the Department of Migrant Workers. Now, my question is, ano po ba ang ginagawa ng Department of Migrant Workers, and who is the direct, among the 7 offices under your department, responsible sa mga workers na documented but they are being maltreated by their employers? This maltreatment include yung physical injuries. Number 2, hindi sila binabayaran ng kanilang sweldo, and among others concerned.
We have, as I told you, we are located in 29 countries, and we continue to open new offices. Unang-una, kung ikaw ay nagka-problema overseas, the best way to do is to call our offices where you are located. For example, if you're in Riyadh, you call our office in Riyadh. We call it migrant office, migrant workers office in Riyadh. Kung dito sa Pilipinas, it is the regional offices. We are located in the 13 regional offices, in 13 regional offices, and you can inquire, you can ask assistance from us. So lahat po yung klase ng assistance, ang regional offices are in charge to look after your concern. Whether it is abuses, whether it is legal issues, mas in personal problem, ma'am, pwede ka pumunta sa opisina namin, sa akin, or sa mga kasama ko, na kung ikaw ay hindi na pinapadalhan ng sustento ng asawa mo. Susulatan po natin yung company kung saan nagtrabaho ang asawa mo. Ngayon, kung inabuso ka, meron po tayong legal retainer overseas to assist you. Kung issue naman ng sinisigawan ka, usually pag nasa overseas yan, we try to sort of make a conciliation between you and the employer. For example, minsan yan ang negosyante pag na-bankrupt o nalugi sa negosyo, mainit ang ulo, ma'am. So, tawagan namin, my friend, how come you're shouting at your employers? Sometimes tabla sila, sorry, Mr. Musa, I was just having problem at home. But how come you kick, for example, your workers? We're going to report you to the police. Yung pumagano, dalhin po natin sila sa police. Dalhin natin sa police. Pero kung yung mga verbal abuse or verbal issues, minsan tutulungan natin sila because we also not like the worker to have that instant judgment. You agree na kumigo, bolbe lang yun. Nasibolbe kita. No'y pakabayal kontrata, ma'am. Si Yokel, kung ako yun, ma'am, sigawan ako, can I have a shot against you? Tabla na kita. Pero si Abla, no, you agree na kumigo. Bolbe lang yun. Si bolbe kita, ma'am. Nuay pa kita kabail kontrata. Por eso, Chene, some of them are staying longer at our shelter because sometimes the employer is also filing complaint against our worker. Remember, when we leave the country, we are signing contract, ma'am, no? For 1 year or 2 years. So we have to comply with the contract. So whoever violates the contract will subject to be, it's a legal issue already. So, por eso, Chene, hindi natin papawi kaagad yan because if the employer also file counter charges against them for not completing the contract. So, yung question naman, saan pumunta? Any regional offices namin. Actually, pwede sa amin. Pwede din sa OWA. Kung legal yan, claim of money, pwede ka din pumunta sa NLRC. Kung hindi ka nabayaran ng sahod mo, for example. If it is for claim of money, doon ka na sa NLRC. Pero bago ka sa NLRC sana, kasuhin muna namin dito. Mag-conciliate muna tayo para hindi masyadong matagal. Sometimes, kung small amount ang claim mo, baka papunta lang lahat sa abogado. So might as well, meron kami tinatawag single entry approach. Sinasettle natin at our level. Kung mag-agree ako at saka ikaw with the recruitment agency, then problem is solved. Pag hindi, we go to the NLRC.
You mentioned tawagan to the nearest agency nandoon sa area nila o sa country where they are being deployed or work. Now, sir, my question is, itong concern ko has something to do sa mga documented workers na hindi man lang sila makalabas ng bahay kasi hindi sila ina-allow ng kanilang employer. So how can they call? How can they ask assistant?
Ganito, ma'am. Somebody, okay, hindi pinapalis sa bahay.
Yes.
Yung question, no?
Hindi sila makaalis,
paano sila
hindi sila
ng tulong?
makakakontak, kinuha yung cellphone nila. So paano nila ma-reach yung Department of Migrant Workers?
Kung ang kamag-anak natin, ma'am, say, usually, araw-araw tumatawag. Let's say, araw-araw nagkukontak kayo or every week nagkukontak kayo. There was already irregular on your contacts with your relatives. Irregular, meaning hindi na tumatawag. Kasi hindi makontak, That's the time you go to the recruitment agency. Si Marites, 2 linggo na, 3 linggo na. Rati-rati, araw-araw, nag-uusap kami. Hindi na siya tumatawag. Can you please locate my relative? That is the responsibility of the recruitment agency. Okay? Sila po yun. Now, yung recruitment agency dito, ma'am, meron din yan counterpart recruitment agency. Saudi, for example, meron din yan counterpart. They are required and mandated to monitor the whereabouts, the conditions, and the safety of their workers. If they fail, nalaman namin yan, i-call na attention nila, hindi na makontak, we call our office abroad. Ma'am Marites, Isang buwan na walang contact sa pamilya niya. In the meantime, we will suspend the agency for failing to monitor yung worker. So, kung hindi pa siya makontak, meron tayong data, may data kami. Yung Foreign Recruitment Agency, may data yan kung sinong employer ni Marites. We go to the police station. My friend, Marites so-and-so. The employer is this one. Has already failed to communicate with our embassy and with his family in the Philippines. Chenebes, tama, tatawagan ng pulis yan. Na ito kasi missing person na whereabouts, tatawagan ng pulis. Usually, makokontak yan. Pag hindi makontak, puntahan ng pulis yan. Kami mismo, sumasama kami. If the police says, okay, you join us. Si Ablad Police, you join us. We go to the house of the employer. If permitted, we can find the employer. If not, the police will take care of it. We also have to monitor yung movement ng case.
Okay. So, responsible din yun po, yung agency concerned, di ba?
Yes.
Siya ang responsable. Now, if this is the situation, sir, bakit meron pa rin cases na hindi nalalaman, hindi minomonitor ng agency? And how many agency were suspended, particularly in Region 9 and in Zamboanga City?
Zamboanga City, wala pa kaming report na hindi nakita, ma'am, at nagpa-assist sa amin. But in the nation scale, marami na po ang nasuspend for failure to repatriate the worker. It's a serious issue, ma'am. Kung hindi makikita ang worker, hindi makikita, it's a serious issue. The whole of our embassy personnel or migrant workers personnel is supposed to be monitoring this kind of cases. Ang problema lang natin, ma'am, yung ayaw talaga magparamdam.
Okay.
Yung lumipat ng amo. First amo, si Abdul. Hindi nagpaalam sa agency, lumipat kay Khalid. May mga ganun, ma'am. Tumakas, for example. Or umalis lang na walang paalam. Which is also the obligation of the agency. Ang agency dito or doon sa abroad, hindi yan mamonitor nila lahat na lumipat na pala yung kanilang na-deploy at lumipat na sa ibang agency. Doon magkaproblema tayo, ma'am. Maski kami, nahirapan din kami maghanap kay kabayan because kung hindi siya nag-inform sa amin, dinala ang kontrata, pumunta sa akin, Mr. Musa, yakan ba yung employer? Si Khalid yan may employer, hindi si Abdul. Without that, only the family, si Abla, kung nagsabi siya, sa pamilya na lumipat siya ng employer. Without that, we could hardly monitor. Pag doon nahirapan tayo maghanap. Yan ang sinasabi nyo, mahirap makontak ng agency, mahirap na talaga kung lumipat na siya.
Okay, lastly, sir,
At
may record po pa kayo, sir, ilang agency po na suspend natin?
Saan? Nationwide?
Yes,
May
nationwide.
record kami, ma'am. We can give you, but not now.
Okay, thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Letty. Next question po from Ma'am Sara Tulabing of the XAS.
Sir, good morning. Sir, nakarating na po ba sa inyo ang case ni Sir Joshua Hablo na isang guro po, I think pumunta ng Canada, and then ang nangyari po doon ay may organization po na nag-create ng fake account ng isang 14-year-old, and then pumayag siya na makipag-meet, and then nahuli po siya. Ang tanong ko po, totoo po ba yun? At kung totoo na nangyari po yun, ano yung warning natin or panawagan po sa ating mga, especially sa mga guro po or sa mga workers po natin abroad, para hindi po sila mahulog sa entrapment or yung parang ginagawa ng ibang bansa para makulong po.
Anong naging issue sa kanya, ma'am? Ba't siya nagpakita?
Teacher po siya, and then parang nakipag-online communication po siya sa isang fake account na 14-year-old. Pero yung organization pala, yung tawag po sa organization ay People versus Predators. Intentionally gumagawa ng fake account gamit yung mga identity ng minors para i-trap yung mga nakikipag-meet. So parang totoo po ba ito?
I'm not aware of a case filed in the office sa Canada. Meron po kami sa Europe din, ganun din nangyari, ma'am. Nakipag-contact sa mga ganun. Incidentally, siguro may other, background orientation yung tao. Or sexual orientation. So yun, nahuhuli sila. Very active. Maski dito po sa Pilipinas, active din po nagmamonitor yung cybercrime offices. So, titingnan ko po kung nag-file sa office, but I have not heard about someone from this city who filed a complaint or registered a complaint like this. Pero meron po tayo, pero hindi sa Canada.
Opo.
Meron sa Canada.
Ano po yung panawagan na lang natin?
Ang panawagan natin ay, maskin saan tayo, kung susunod tayo sa batas, we'll never go wrong. Yun always ang sinasabi natin bago lumipat, bago umalis ang mga tao. Sundin nyo ang batas kung saan kayo nagtatrabaho. Okay? Sundin nyo ang batas. Yun po ang problema. Alam mo, karamihan sa Pilipino masunurin sa batas. Kung lahat ng Pilipino, yung pagka-obedience nila sa batas sa ibang bansa, dalhin sa Pilipinas, nasa broso durmiki, maski noon di pa durumi na kanto, maayos tayo. Pero hindi ganun eh. Incidentally, may mga kababayan tayo, naligawan ng landas, akala nila makakalusot sila. Hindi lang po yung ang mga cases, but yung mga sexual cases na ganito, on the rise po. Just like cases of drugs na dapat po hindi nangyari din po sa overseas, involving, unfortunately, Filipinos. So ang panawagan natin, obey the law. Obey the law of the country and obey the general law, sort of. No? Kasi maskin dito, bawal din yun, ma'am. No? Yung mga bata ang tinachat natin na hindi maayos, hindi naman good manners and right conduct ang pinag-uusapan, talagang bawal po yun.
Halimbawa po, guilty po yung natin, yung Pinoy natin, natutulungan pa rin po ba sila?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Kaya kung may kaso ng ganyan, yung kamag-anak papuntahin sa amin or saan mang aming opisina para ma-monitor natin yung cases nila.
Last na lang po. Ano po yung main reason bakit nag-abroad ang mga taga Zamboanga Peninsula? Dahil po ba kulang ang employment opportunity, kulang pa rin ang sweldo o dahil gusto lang po nila?
The Overseas Employment Program has been there for quite a long time. It was, parang ginawa natin parang stopgap measures para makaprovide ng trabaho. So obviously, umaalis ang tao dahil sa magtrabaho. Yung iba, may trabaho, yung mga teachers natin, nandito sila. Yung mga teachers iba dyan, mababa kasi ang sahod. Gusto niya mataas ang sahod. Yung iba, because of the condition of work sa abroad. For example, kung public school teacher ka, air condition ang room, tapos kulang kukunti ang nag-disturb sa iyo, may bus, or if you're in Saudi Arabia, for example, kung nurse ka, libre ang bahay, libre ang bus, yung hospital mo is at par with the hospital in the US or in Britain, and then may chance ka after Saudi, punta ka sa US, tataas ang sahod mo, or kung galing ka sa small hospital, punta ka sa Saudi hospital, guaranteed ka halos pagpasok mo sa Saudi. Marami po, when I was in Saudi, I was there for 6 years. Lipat, kambya yung trabaho, anlo na US. Okay. Kapag green card holder sila, when they return, triple na ang sahod. So, originally, yes, mag-abroad ang tao dahil sa mababang sahod or walang trabaho talaga. Until such time na nag-abroad ako dahil nasanay na ako sa buhay abroad. Sa buhay abroad. Yung mga anak ko hindi na marunong mag-tricycle. May kotse kami nang nasa abroad ako. Di ba? Yung mga kapitbahay ko, hindi masyadong palautang. Yung mga workmate ko, multinational. So I also may growth din sa aking career. May nalalaman ako, may natutunan ako. Things like that. So we will see the day where kukunti na lang mag-abroad na hindi na talaga necessity, kundi choice na nila mag-abroad. And that's the dream of government na choice na lang ng tao, hindi lang necessity kung mag-abroad tayo. Gusto nyo mag-abroad din, ma'am? Hindi. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you po. Next po, from Heart Molenyo of E-Media.
Hello, sir. Good morning po. My question po, sir, regarding sa legal recruitment agency, sir. Sir, meron po ba tayong page or sites na pwede po i-access ng future workers natin, sir? Yung nandun na yung mga legal recruitment agency po.
Meron tayo sa website natin. Sa dmw.gov.ph.
Okay po. And my last question, sir. Are there any efforts to promote local employment opportunity in Zamboanga to reduce the need for our residents to seek work abroad?
Yes, actually that's the ultimate objective. Dadalhin natin sila sa dalawa po yun, ma'am, no? Yung gusto magtrabaho abroad, wag natin pigilan. Yung gustong umuwi, wag din natin pigilan. Di ba? But the truth remains, kulang ang trabaho ngayon sa Pilipinas. No? So ang effort natin ay kung ang industry natin, for example, Zamboanga ngayon it's booming now. Maraming local na trabaho. Hinihikayat natin, ma'am, yung mga marami ng pera na overseas Filipino workers to come home, put up a business, and you are a worker overseas, be an employer in the Philippines. Di ba? So yan ang campaign natin. Uwi na yung may gusto dito na kayo magnegosyo. Ang dami nang kita nyo. Yung mga anak nyo nag-aaral na sa overseas. Hindi na sa Pilipinas yung iba because they can afford. So we invite them to come to the Philippines and invest. And also bring their talents and experience. Talaman kita, brain gain, ma'am. Bring them here. So yung efforts, anong efforts nyo? The government as a whole would exert effort to provide more livelihood opportunities for our people. Yung mga ayaw bumalik dito, huwag din natin mapigilan yun, ma'am. I'm sure ikaw, ma'am, ayaw mo din mag-abroad, no? Ha? Pero kung secret gusto mo, ma'am, punta ka lang sa opisina.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you. Next po, last na po from Judian Tinoy Tina of E-Media.
So, good morning po, sir. My first question po is, how is the Department of Migrant Workers collaborating with the local government of Zamboanga City to enhance the support and protection of migrant workers from the city po?
Every time may mga visitors kami, we see to it that we inform the city. No less than the mayor, pumunta kami, pinapakilala namin yung mga bisita namin. We are also involved with the local employment program through job fairs, local and overseas employment programs through job fairs. And we cannot do away with the involvement of local government units because we rely more on their support doon sa aming campaign against illegal recruitment and doon sa mga potential na business na pwede pasukin ng ating mga overseas Filipino workers. Our only request to them is make it a little bit easier for our investor overseas Filipino workers so that they will be encouraged to put up a business locally in the province, in the city, in the municipality, or even in the barangay level.
So, my second question po is, what action po are being taken to protect OFWs from illegal recruitment po and how effective po ito?
We continue to do our anti-illegal recruitment and trafficking in person campaign. We call it AirTip. Every month, ginagawa namin yan. And we continue to push for that. OWA is already doing it. They are also helping us doon sa mga, aside from the livelihood programs, they're going barangay to barangay. But it needs the whole society to help us educate our people against illegal recruitment. Kasi may mga nare-recruit yan ng kamag-anak. Ang mismong nag-recruit sa kanila, yung kamag-anak, dalhin sa agency, tapos sabihin sa kamag-anak, hindi por kaso di mio, no man tuanda na abroad, ara ri kuya bo. Tala bo kumigol dito yung 3 months salary o 4 months salary. Bawal yun, ma'am. Kaya nga, the workers should go directly to the agency or to us for proper guidance.
That's all po. Thank you.
Thank you. One last na po, RD, we have from RPN po, Sir Regino de los Santos.
Sir, good morning. So, ang aking katanungan, no, this is a reality. So, dito sa Zamboanga, dahil sa kahirapan, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, yung iba nga, ibig sabihin ko, walang na financial para makuha ng mga requirements, makaka-abroad. So, ang iba, based in aking mga report, galing, so dito sila dumadaan sa backdoor, papuntang Malaysia. So, pagdating diyan, kung nakalusot sila, siyempre, makatrabaho sila sa ibang bansa, like Malaysia, yung malapit dyan mga bansa. Kung nakatrabaho na sila, nahuli sila, wala silang complete mga document. Kung nahuli na sila, siyempre, makulong sila. So, makulong sila, paano sila makauwi dito sa ilang kanilang lugar, like Zamboanga o ibang-ibang lugar dito sa Pilipinas? Sino po yung nating makakatulong?
Lahat ng question nila maganda, sir. But that's the most question na hinahanap-hanap ko. Ang sabi nila, ito lang number ng workers sa Western Mindanao. If you include our workers in Sabah, undocumented or informally working in Sabah, we have the most number of workers nationwide working not in the Philippines. Ayoko kasi abroad, ha? Kasi may problem to sa Sabah claim, no?
Yeah.
But hundreds and hundreds of thousands of our workers are in Sabah. Kung darating sila, ang galing nila, carpentero, welder, housekeeper, and so on and so forth. We should be able to harness the skills of our workers in Sabah. Medyo hindi natin na-focus sila, no? Ngayon, sir, ang problema mo, paano natin sila matulungan?
Yeah.
Kung meron silang proof of employment in Sabah, sir, each family will give them 50,000 pesos as a startup capital or as a financial assistance for them to be able to secure passport, PSA, birth certificate, and all the necessary requisites for them to be able to be documented as documented workers. This is the point where we ask the assistance of everybody. If you want to go to SAP, see to it you have a passport.
Yeah.
And you have an employer if you are working there. We'll make it easy for you. If you have the visa, you have the employer, okay? We'll process your document on a direct hire basis already or balik manggagawa basis. We'll stamp it, we'll issue you overseas employment certificate. Nobody can leave this country to work without the overseas employment certificate, sir, no? Kami ang bigay kanila. And work, return to Sabah and work officially with the better terms. Ang problema natin, sir, yung iba, ayaw nila mag-document.
Yeah, exactly.
Trabaho natin yun, sir, paano natin sila i-educate. Pero yung gusto, may paraan.
Tama.
Ang DMW, ang OWA ay nandito para tulungan sila. That's why we are pushing for the creation of the one-stop shop processing center again. You heard it before in 2006 onwards, when there was mass, sending of our workers to Zamboanga City from Sabah. There was this one-stop shop processing center. All agencies of government that are needed by our workers in order for them to be able to be officially documented and given the necessary skills. We are pushing for it. We hope we will be successful to energize the stamina of our co-offices in the region. But for those who are from Sabah and they can prove that they've been working there, we can guarantee we can provide them 30 to 50,000 pesos. And for those who are sick, if they have medical certificate from Sabah, and those who are yung malala na masyado, we can go to as far as 100,000 pesos for these workers. Basta mapakita lang nila may trabaho sila. No malang turista, sir, ha? Turista or aktivista or artista, hindi nagtrabaho doon sa Sabah. Pero kung mayroon siyang nagtrabaho talaga siya, may mapakita siya, requirements, We assure you from our action fund, I have the commitment of the office to provide them this kind of assistance, financial assistance, para yung iba, yung mga trainings, other agencies can provide the training, but we will provide instantly yung 50,000 so that they can start. Ano mang bilhin nila. Nakakaawa sila, sir. I've been in various conflicts. With all modesty, I've been to Sudan, I've been to Libya, I've been to Yemen. Ang nakita akong kawawang worker, yung mga galing Sabah. Pagdating nila, nakachinelas, uno pantalon or short pan lang, uno t-shirt with a cellophane. Without being having to compare with other workers. Other workers, sir, maskin estaba na gera. Pagdating, may dala pa TV na malaki, may cellphone pa. But these workers from Sabah, really, nakikita ko, I have the opportunity to see them at the pier last May 30, nung dumating. Kawawa, ma'am. Di ko na alam saan na sila napunta dahil ang DSWD ang directly involved dito. Although inayos naman din, kung saan sila gustong pumunta. They are not just from this region. Some of them from other parts of the region. So nakita ko, wala akong nakita na nakamaleta. Because they come from deportation center. You could just imagine, pagdating mo dito, 10 years or 20 years, some of them do not speak our local dialect. Pag makakita ka ng pulis, akala mo immigration ng Sabah din. Takot sila.
Dahil sa walang requirement siguro.
Kaya minsan ayoko yung mga staff ko magdala ng yung akil 8 o akil SEAL OFW. Baka pensaba sila, pulis namin naglaldim yung mga ubanaki. Kawa, yung mga bata. Imagine, kasama ka sa the cramped deportation center. And because of may international issue kasi doon sa claim, hindi tayo basta-basta pumunta, sir. Ang embassy hindi basta-basta pupunta doon kasi baka mabawas yung claim over Sabah. Pero kami, sa humanitarian side, we are willing and ready to help our kababayan. So, other agencies will provide other services. Kami, sir, we will provide the financial assistance of at least 50,000 pesos per family para so that they can start. And hopefully, yung mga dumarating na hindi gamit ang tunay nilang pangalan, will be able to document them. And PSA assured us na pagdating ng barko, pa-apply lahat ng PSA so that they will be able to get birth certificate para at least ma-document natin sila. Kung gusto naman bumalik, sana bumalik silang maayos na. Hindi na yung patago-tago, nagbabayad pa sila sa mga traffickers at illegal recruiters. Ito, if they find employer, they have a visa, we'll process their document. They can live officially as overseas workers, make them OWA member, so that the full protection of government is there. At meron na tayong listahan. Kung may kamag-anak kasi na parating na yung pagdating ng barko na yan, parating dito, I think meron naman na papunta parating very soon. Yun ang gagawin natin, sir. Meron na kaming pending request dyan to assist. Now that DMW is here, we hope to be able to be of service to our workers from Sabah.
Lastly, sir, yung mensahe nyo na lang para sa kanila, lalong-lalo na yung mga dumadaan sa mga walang kompleto mga dokumento. Yung message nyo para sa kanila.
Ang message ko, yung mga nakakaintindi ng Tagalog, punta kayo sa opisina namin kung galing kayong Sabah, at gusto nyo magbabalik doon, punta kayo sa DSWD, punta kayo sa TESDA, punta kayo sa OWA. We'll try our best. Relative to our mandate, paano namin kayo matulungan? Yung mga may nakikinig galing Sabah, nandito kami. At nandito kami ever since actually yung ibang agency para tumulong sa kanila. Magparehistro sila para yung statistics natin, alam natin kung ilan sila. Even up to now, hindi natin alam ilan sila, sir. Ilang dami nila. Because some of them opt to be that way. Ayaw nila mailista. Ayaw nila, or walang opportunity para mailista. Or natakot sa atin. Or siguro baka nagkulang kami. O tayo sa gobyerno para matulungan sila as Filipinos. I'm sure they are Filipino. Maskin hindi marunong mag local dialect or mag-Tagalog. That's why in the coming repatriation, we're going to bring. Meron akong sa Isabela, nagpunta kami, tumulong kami, ma'am. Hindi marunong mag-Chabacano. Iyakan siya, yun lang alam niya. Hindi pa very fluent. Nagdala kami ng isang OJT, Malaysian OJT. Nagkataon na sa opisina, si Kamudas. Malaysian. Ang tatay niya Malaysian, nanay niya Pilipino. You talk to him in Bahasa, Malaysia. Nag-usap sila. So this time when there will be another repatriation that comes, meron kaming interpreter na. Ang OWA may Malaysian, may Bahasa interpreter sila. Para hindi sila matakot, sir.
Yeah.
We will go out of our way, I assure you, to help them in whatever we can through the help of the other interagency. Tulungan po natin ang ating mga kababayan na galing Sabah. Maraming salamat.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much po, Sir Regina, and thank you po sa lahat po nating mga media partners. Now, to end our program po, let's hear a closing message, parting message po from our resource person, Director Musa.
Thank you very much to our PIA from the director down. Kahapon pa nandito sila para tulungan kami. May paabot sa ating lahat yung aming mga programa at serbisyo para sa inyo. Ito po ang Bagong Pilipinas. Ito po ang maitulong namin, ang ambag namin sa ating mga overseas Filipino workers para matulungan sila sa mga pangangailangan nila. Ito po yung serbisyo na ibigay natin sa lahat. Walang magkaiba-ibang tayo ng background, pare-pareho ang serbisyo bibigay natin sa inyo. Ito po yung panukli natin doon sa mga contribution ng more than 30 billion US dollars na pinasok nila sa ating ekonomiya para may trabaho rito locally, para mag-contribute doon sa ating economic activity dito sa Pilipinas. Despite of the sacrifices and hardships that they are facing across the globe. Pag tag-init, nandoon sila. Pag taglamig, nandoon sila. Tag-ulan, nandoon sila. Pag maalon ang mga seamen, nandoon sila. Maski may gera, minsan nandyan sila. Meron sa kanila naging hostages just to be able to feed their families. Meron sa kanila nawala. Meron sa kanila lately 2 nasawi dahil doon sa Yemen conflict na pinasabugan ng kanilang barko ang ating mga seaman. Nandito kami. Yung mga kamag-anak ng mga OFW nandito, huwag kang malungkot. Kung malungkot kayo, punta kayo sa amin o sa OWA. Kung anong may tulong-tulungan namin kayo. Do not go out of your way. Let's have a family of overseas Filipino workers that is intact. Hindi magkawatak-watak. Yung mga kamag-anak, yung mga hindi OFW, pero nandoon ang mga OFW na anak sa kanila, tulungan natin sila. Let's maintain that trust. Wala dito ang kanilang magulang nagtatrabaho sa ibang bansa. Kung kayo ay nabigyan ng trust para asikasuhin ng mga anak ng mga OFW, tulungan po natin sila. They need parental guidance. Iba po yung guidance online. Mas maganda po sana kung yung presence natin, yung physical presence natin doon sa pagtulong sa kanila. And we will do our best. OWA has the so-called the family circle, where they meet from time to time, aside from the scholars that they have na anak ng mga OFW din. As a country, we have to help each other po. Huwag tayong mainggit sa kanila. May mga neighbors po na nainggit sa mga overseas Filipino workers dahil minsan yung parking lot hindi na makapag-park dahil yung overseas worker may sasakyan. Sasakay na lang po tayo muna sa kanila. Magkaroon din tayo ng sasakyan sooner or later. Pero huwag po natin sila pagtabuyin at huwag po tayo magsabi-sabi ng kung ano-ano kung hindi po napatunayan. Okay? Ito po yung oras na pagtutulungan natin sa mga overseas Filipino workers. Binavalue po, hinahalagaan po ng gobyerno ang kanilang sakripisyo. Noon pa man hanggang ngayon. Kaya yung mga ating mga overseas workers abroad, kung may problema po, nakita nyo man, nandyan kami, gera man yan, calamity man yan, problema man sa pag-ibig yan, problema man sa kababayan o sa ibang lahi, nandyan po kami. Dito din sa Pilipinas, nandito po kami. In all the regional offices, present po kami. Maraming salamat sa POA, maraming salamat sa inyo sa pagpunta rito. Sana magtulungan po tayo. And we hope to move this region and this city faster so that when this city will grow, economic opportunity will grow, that will lessen the number of workers overseas. Dito na tayo magtrabaho, dito na natitira. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much once again po, Labor Attaché and the OIC Regional Director of Department of Migrant Workers, Director Adam Musa. Thank you also po sa lahat nating mga viewers and of course sa ating mga media partners po na weekly tayong sinasamahan sa ating programa. Muli po sa ngalan ng PCO Secretary Cheloy Garafil and PIA Director General Jose Torres Jr. and Regional Director po Ms. Noemi Edaga. Ito si Myra Espinosa and see you po sa mga next pa nating kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Muchísimas gracias.